Hey, what's going on? It's your boy KLA Cloud Wanderer on a Monday afternoon. And I have a special guest, a lovely guest. Her name is Amy Quezada. I recently spotted her on All the Rage George Page podcast. So, check out the interview with her and All the Rage George Page. But other than that, thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with me, Amy.
Absolutely. I'm so happy to be on the show. So thank you for having me.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so well, I've learned about you that you was a fit model. How was that
Yeah,
for
so
you?
I'm trying it out. So this is the first year that they debuted it. And it's been an experience. I feel like every show and every outcome is a little bit different just because I feel like the judges are still trying to figure out the criteria right now. Um, but I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's good for, especially for individuals who are still growing in the sport, like myself. I was in bikini and I wanted to be a little bit more competitive. I'm not as big as some of the bikini girls right now, so I definitely need some more muscle maturity and growth. And so this gives me the opportunity to do that competitively, and then also just learn more about, competing the sport, and then a little bit about my body and how I'm responding during prep. So I like it
Yeah,
overall. There's been a ton of people are all over the place of how they feel about it, but I think it's a
yeah,
positive thing.
yeah. I mean, it just came about, what, like last year or something. Yeah, and so like that was the news because people feel that, it's gonna eventually evolve just like bikini, just like physique and bodybuilding a bit. So, I mean, I've been to a show. I've been to an NPC show, and I thought it was cool. It wasn't. It was different. Because it's more of the competitors. They're more slimmer. They're not. They don't really have styrations or anything like
Yeah.
that. And yeah, so I mean, but I mean, they don't look bad. I mean, it's almost like a bikini competitor, really. Like, would you be able to tell the difference between a bikini competitor to a fit model competitor?
So it depends on I honestly depends on the show, which sounds kind of horrible to say, but right now I think the major difference that I'm seeing between bikini and fit model is there's bikini has bigger cap shoulders and they have the visible tie-ins on their back pose. Everything else is very similar, very soft, flowing like physique and stuff like that, but definitely tightened up conditioned. So it's just like a different um I guess a totally different criteria in terms of like muscle maturity. I think that that's where that comes from. So I think that bikini is probably going to be targeted towards individuals who have been working out or bodybuilding for a lot longer and who are more familiar with the sport. That's what I'm seeing at least. There's just a little bit more growth in the shoulders and, in the tie-ins.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
but
Like it.
very similar. I've seen a lot of crossover. Like some women will do bikini like one show and then they'll cross over to fit model and they're like just trying it out
Yeah,
to see which one they compete in better. Yeah.
yeah.
So
And
yeah,
when
huge
did?
difference here.
Yeah, yeah. Like how tall are you?
5'4".
5'4".
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
And the one where I have short hair in this photo, I'm like maybe 100 pounds, and then the other one I was like 103 pounds. So, and that was my very first NPC show. So, um, definitely some growth since then, but we're still working on it. Always a work in progress.
Yeah. How did you hear about the fit model through your coach?
Yeah, so we already started prep and it wasn't going as, I guess, as well as what I wanted it to. It took me a lot longer to lean out this show. And honestly, I think it's more because I took 18 months off for growing and I gained the weight and it took a lot of time to get that weight off, a lot longer than what we anticipated. So we were kind of going back and forth. And then as I kept getting leaner, I still didn't have any tie-ins. So he had made the suggestion, like, do you want to try fit model? Do you want to see how it goes? And honestly, I had already bought a beautiful bikini.
Mm.
And so I was like, not really, but if you think I'll be like more competitive in that space, like I'll give it a try. So I did. The positives is the suits are much cheaper. I only spent about like $150 versus,
Yeah.
$500 to $700 for a bikini. So that was good. So you have like options. I know a lot of women who are competing in Fit Model have multiple suits in every single show. They wear a different color, because they're just cheaper and it's more affordable. So it's definitely something that I would. It took a long time for me to wrap my head around. Like, okay, I'm gonna totally change the plan here and try something totally new out.
Yeah.
So
What makes the bikini suits cheaper for fitness model for fit models, sorry, compared to somebody in bikini or wellness and the other divisions.
So it comes down to the styling and the cut of the suit. So the cut of the suit
Yeah.
is a little bit more tailored to you and your body, but you also have the rhinestones everywhere, and then it's totally bedazzled, right? So you have the gemstones everywhere. Most of the time, if you get a custom suit, they're hand placed on the actual suit itself, and then the wellness suits and like figure suits are more expensive because they can have, the awesome elaborate designs built into it and stuff like that. Ours is a solid color. We don't get any like rhinestones, no glitz, no glam
Gotcha.
on the suit at
Gotcha.
all. And it's usually just a tie in the back. So there's no like clasp or anything. So and you're supposed to have about a little, maybe 50% coverage on the glutes. And so there's really not much you can do customization wise for that. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. So it kind of reminds me like back in the day with bodybuilding, like they didn't really have those jewels and custom made designs and all that stuff like that. So
No.
yeah,
No, I miss the bikinis though in the bikini division. I
yeah.
like all the glitz and the glam what that goes with it. So we're hoping that maybe they change fit model division to have a little bit of glam.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I've seen like I was discussing it with you earlier before we went live about my experience about it. Yeah, I went to the NPC Mr. Universe and they had Fit Model and yeah, I mean there was one like I was like sitting like I was sitting in an audience and like somebody was behind me and they appeared to be like a fitness trainer bodybuilder and they didn't really know how to make of it and stuff like that and it seemed like that's like a general speculation from people that's more of a women's bodybuilder or women's physique fan. So yeah.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, my camera's
That's
gonna
okay.
fall. It's like on its last leg here. I gotta get a new one. Um, Yeah, a lot of individuals are either they're really into tracking all the different changes across all the divisions, including like suit changes and stuff like that, or they're not tracking at all. It's very interesting. I feel like there's like you're on one end of the spectrum or the other when it comes to the criteria, the suits, all of it. So,
Yeah. So let me show some pictures. So this is your husband, huh?
yes,
Yeah. What
yes.
how
We're
does he?
still we're still technically newlyweds.
Oh, okay. How does he feel about you competing?
He likes it. Yeah, he said it's really exciting. Actually, the last show, when we were talking about how it went, he said it was really exciting and he was like getting, the anticipation of like what the outcome is going to be. He's having a lot of fun rooting me on, and he's definitely having a lot of fun eating all of the post-show meals with me.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
because we decided to cut together just to make the process a little bit easier.
is he also like doing the same thing you're doing?
Yeah, so he's not competing,
Okay.
but he goes with me at the crazy hour of 2 o'clock in the morning, to the gym, and we're just there grinding it out together. And he tracks macros and all that other stuff. He was tracking macros and doing this long before I was, so um, I just, I don't know, kind of fell into it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean that's good. I mean, maybe he might be go on stage one of these days. And yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'm slowly, subtly, trying to get him to do that. And when I
Yeah,
say slowly and subtly, I'm like, hey, look at all these suits. Like, you should pick a color.
yeah, they got a somebody showed me they have like a men's fitness model, but it's in India and stuff. Yeah,
Is that
so
is that true?
yeah, I George he sent me a video of the fit model guys. I could send it to you if I
No,
still
I
see it.
think he sent me the same video, but I thought it was fake. I
Yeah,
wasn't sure if it was
yeah,
real.
yeah. They on stage and one of them like he's pop locking or doing a moonwalk on stage and stuff like that. Yeah, and
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah, I was telling him, maybe it could be more exciting. This, because sometimes, maybe it like bodybuilding, like especially with the women, like you don't really see too many audience like that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, they used to have I guess the only thing that they have now, which isn't the same, but it's a little bit more exciting, is the fitness
Yeah,
division where they do, all the different acrobatics and amazing
yeah,
routines and stuff like that. But outside of that, I don't think we have anything else.
right. Do you pay attention to women's bodybuilding or
A
women's
little bit. I'm more into like tracking. When I first started getting into bodybuilding, I didn't know much about the different divisions, but I naturally gravitated towards tracking and following a lot of like women on Instagram that were in wellness, which is so funny because I was like, oh, I want to look like this, and not knowing that that was the wellness division. And now knowing what wellness is, I'm like, man, it's going to take me a very long time to grow to that size. Um, so it is interesting. So I tracked a lot of the wellness athletes and then a lot of the bikini when I first started.
right? Cool. Yeah, so like before bodybuilding, like were you like not physically fit or were you an athlete or were you overweight or anorexic? Like what's your
No, so I've always been a forever athlete, so, but more so in just running. So track and field, indoor, outdoor field. And then I also did cross country all through middle school, high school, and straight through college. So I was a college athlete on the cross country team. Um, I always did really well. And then actually in high school was probably the first time I ever lifted weights because our coach made us do conditioning in the summertime. And I was like, I don't even know what this is. And it's so funny. I laugh now because they made us do the iron cross where you just hold the dumbbells out for like, a minute or so. And I'm like, wow, if I could just have that in my upper body, it would be fantastic. But we didn't really know what we were getting into, I guess, on those conditioning days. And I don't know what the overall plan was there, and I don't really remember all the details. So, but our coach tried to get us involved in lifting weights a little bit more so that we were stronger, on the field. Um, and then in college, they had a lot of more of like conditioning all the time, a couple days a week throughout the entire season. And then we also did resistance training in the pool and stuff like that. So I've always had probably a good foundation going into it. And then once I graduated, I kind of bounced around. I did a marathon, I went into cycling, and then it just wasn't enjoyable for me anymore. So I transitioned over to lifting weights and I loved it. I just didn't have a goal. And I've always wanted to compete in bodybuilding, but I didn't even know how to get started or what to do. And I think a lot of that was just like insecurity, a lot of excuses around it. It wasn't very hard to figure it out once I like locked into it, but um, I think the hardest part was probably figuring out the food. The food aspect of nutrition was
yeah,
the hardest part.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I heard, the food is the most important thing, the dieting and stuff like that. Like how were you
yeah,
like
just
your
like getting enough. A lot of people will undereat. I was undereating for sure without even knowing it. And like I thought for instance, peanut butter was a high protein food. It is not. There's not a whole lot of protein in there in comparison to like other items that you can eat. So learning about food was probably the best part. And now it's fun because like you can play with your food in terms of different recipes to try that are high protein and
Yeah,
healthier and so on and so forth. I'm on like the Instagram reels all the time looking at everyone's food to see what chaos I can make in the kitchen. So
yeah. I know peanut butter. It has like mostly fats instead it instead of protein. Like
yeah, mostly fats and carbs. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
there's a
'Cause
lot. And
I
it's healthy fats. It's not bad for you. But
yeah,
if you're looking for a high protein snack, that's not going to be your go-to.
yeah.
So
Do you eat protein bars?
I don't. So I actually, I have rheumatoid arthritis, so I have to be really careful on what I eat.
Yeah.
I have a pretty specialized diet, so I'm like gluten-free. I can't have any whey protein, so a lot of my stuff is vegan based if I'm gonna do it. But the protein bars for me, especially right now during like prep, um, always have too much fat in them. So I'm more of like an egg whites kind of gal. I drink them, I eat them, I
You
just
drink them?
can. Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
how?
They actually don't taste like anything. Once you get past the texture, it's fine. But I sometimes will put like the coffee syrups that you can like add in coffee or lattes and stuff. I'll buy
Okay.
that, the sugar free, and I'll add that into the egg whites. And it sometimes it tastes like a vanilla milkshake. Sometimes, you want to taste like coconut, whatever flavor we have, I add it in and it just tastes like that. So, and it's zero carb because it's sugar free.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most I've done with egg whites is cook them. That's cook like eggs. That's it. I season it and make a sandwich and that's it. Nothing more. Yeah, nothing more.
Yeah, I think my go-to when I cook them is just the everything seasoning. I put everything seasoning literally on everything right now just for flavor. Um, but that's my go-to for egg whites.
Yeah. How was you like your preparing for your first show?
It wasn't horrible. I mean, I thought my macros were going to be a lot lower. I had a ton of cardio. So I was doing two cardio sessions with my lifts, so 5 days a week. I lift 5 days a week. I have two off days, and then I have two cardio sessions, one at 60 minutes right after my lift and 60 minutes in the afternoon. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't the most thrilling time of my life. Especially when you're going through like low calories. It was rough getting through that last 60 minutes of the day, just kind of grinding through it. And then also, I have a full-time job and I also have kids. And so, managing all that while being in the gym. So, my son is really into Minecraft right now, the youngest one. And so he goes to the gym like when I do my second sessions and we'll just sit in the corner and play Minecraft and show me all the things he's creating while I'm on the treadmill. So it works out, but it
Minecraft
wasn't
is
terrible.
Minecraft is what, like the video game or the computer game?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they just made a movie. So,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
with
which is
Jack Black.
cute.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it was a good movie. I liked it. I thought it was funny.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I had a little bit more of an appreciation for the game after the movie.
Oh, I never played the games. I mean, I just know about, of course, I know about the game. You know about the game, but, I for me to watch the movie, I'm not sure about that. So, yeah, I have like one clip of you competing. I'm trying to see if I see it. Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, this is my first NPC show. Is the Hurricane Pro show over in St. Pete, Florida.
Yeah.
So I went from an OCB show and then I went straight into an NPC to see the difference between judging and stuff like that. So that was my very first one.
Oh, okay. So you was in the OCB show. So what OCB show you was in Florida?
So I did the Captain's Cup and then I also did Miami down, and I don't remember what the Miami full name was. It could just be OCB Miami, but those are the two that I did back to back, and they were two very different experiences. But I felt like I perform better in NPC just because I'm a little bit leaner. And the
Right.
criteria for OCB bikini is a little bit fuller. And for me to get tie-ins and stuff like that and to be fuller is just hard for me to do for that franchise. I just fit a little bit better for the other one just
Yeah.
because I'm naturally a little bit longer and leaner. So, and I think
Yeah.
that's why fit model works well for me. I have long limbs. So they want, long, graceful, lean, and I definitely fit that criteria better than most of the divisions. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you kind of lift. Your lifting seems impressive. Just watching it.
oh, thank
Like
you.
what's the heaviest you lift?
For um I don't think it's very impressive, but I will take the compliment. But I think the heaviest for hip thrust I've been at 245, um, which is pretty decent for myself. I don't really remember. I feel like it's been such a long time because I feel like I've been prepping so long um, that I can't really remember leg press or anything like that. So, but it's definitely, 4 or 5 plates on leg press. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Well, yeah. To back piggyback on the OCB. So, you just did one show on the OCB, and your
two
experience
shows.
on two
Yeah, two
shows.
shows. Yep.
Oh, you didn't like neither one of them too much.
I didn't dislike them. I actually placed well in both the shows, but the judges' criteria was like, you are a better fit for NPC than you are OCB, which I was surprised. I thought the judges' criteria was just going to be like, critiquing the package that was on stage, not telling me to go to a totally different franchise.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that I did. I like the NPC shows a lot. A lot of them are larger than the OCB shows, so they take a little bit longer to get through. But they're
Yeah.
definitely, I feel like, more competitive. You never know who you're competing against, right? I'm a natural athlete, and so I'm competing against natural athletes and non-natural athletes, and so I just think that competition-wise, it's a lot harder. So.
Yeah, yeah. I've been to a couple of amateur shows at the OCB. I've been to the Big Apple here in New York City, and I've been to the Double Down in Atlantic City and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about going to the one in Albany, but I don't think I feel like going. I'm not sure. So maybe maybe I might go to the Double Down again, like I did last year. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
was that a really big show, or how many athletes are there?
the which one, the Double Down or
Yeah, the double
the
down
Double
or
Down? I think I put the Double Down was cool. It was more spacious. It had more people there, of course. Like there were like some divisions. People sat through. Some people they left. There was with the men division, there was a lot of people, I would say, there was some like I would like friends or family, and they was cheering like the people on stage. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
they
that's the biggest difference because like when you're at NPC shows, there's not like cheering. People aren't screaming out your name or your number or
no,
anything like that. OCB, they are. They're
yeah,
screaming your name and your number. I think that is more family oriented for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. It seemed like it. Yeah, they seem like they really care. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
no,
how?
I actually loved doing Captain's Cup in Tampa. I think
Yeah,
that that was a really well-run show. That was my very first show, and then looking back now that I have more experience in shows, it was really well run. They did a good job. And they pushed a lot of athletes through. I think that was fairly large for the most part. It's not like, North Americans. I think there was over like almost 1,000 athletes at that show, but
yeah,
um it's pretty large show.
yeah. So what show you're gonna compete next?
So right now I am doing like a mini build, I guess. I'm still in prep. So we're either looking at a show out in Vegas, or we're looking at a show here in Alexandria, which is a natural show. Um, so I don't know. It depends on how my body responds in the next couple weeks. The judges' feedback for my last show is I need a little bit more, um, size in my shoulders. And my conditioning was spot on. They love that, and they love my posing, so that was good. But I just need a little bit more of that V taper going into the next show. So that's what we're trying to accomplish. So it
Yeah.
really depends on my body. So I could be here for another 5 weeks, or I could be here for another 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So,
How far you think you want to do fit model?
well, I would like to get my pro card, and then I want to do my pro debut as fit model, when the time is right. So I think that that would be really fun. And then once I do that, the my plan is to grow into bikini, right? Take some time off, grow, and then compete in bikini and see how it goes. So I think it'll be really good. I know a lot of folks are their goal is to get pro card and then compete right in bikini division for their pro debut. That's great if that's your plan. For me, I just know that it's going to take a lot longer for me to grow into that division. So I'm just going to have to go and, you know, do my pro debut and fit model and then grow into bikini so I actually have a standing chance in the competition because I don't want to spend, all the money to compete and then not place well. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like when like how long do you train?
oh my gosh. So I hired a friend of mine to help me train these next few weeks, and I think her and I were in the gym lifting this morning for a little over an hour and a half, and then I still had 40 minutes of cardio to do after that. So it can be anywhere from 2 hours to 3 hours, depending on what the workout is. Today wasn't as long. Tomorrow's a long day. Tomorrow I will probably be at the gym like 2.5 hours total, just to
Mm.
get through the workout. And that includes cardio. It's not just lifting. So my coach put together a totally different plan, just to kind of narrow in that V taper. So we're gonna see if it works. Fingers
What
crossed. But
what
my
what
friend almost killed me today. So
what kind of
she's
cardio
like,
do
no
you do?
excuses.
Oh,
Right
no.
now I'm doing Stairmaster on
Oh, okay.
everything. Yeah, a lot of people think I'm nuts, but I've been consistently doing Stairmaster throughout all of my prep. So
Okay. So we
walking on a
got
treadmill is not my preference.
yeah. So we got all the rage George Page says stop by to say hi. Best of luck, Amy. And of course,
Oh
fit
my
model.
God.
Yeah,
There he
I don't
is.
know. Like 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 how do you feel like with people like with I don't know like how do you feel about like the negative about fit model in your opinion?
Honestly, I think it's just people don't like change. It takes a
Yeah,
little bit for people to wrap their head around change. Um, Especially from someone who owns a business, who sells a product, right? My product was definitely very different from the rest of the industry and it took a while for people to be like okay with it, like, oh, okay, I like this product, so I think we're going through that process right now of adoption syndrome with fit model. I think once people see that it's it still takes a lot of work to like get that lean, to condition properly, to get the shape that you're looking for. I think eventually it will catch on and people will be okay with it. But yeah. And honestly, like you have individuals who don't like it at all. They have a preference. It's kind of like you prefer oranges over apples, and that's fine. That's your preference. So
yeah, yeah. I
I'm
mean,
pretty
it's kind of
open-minded.
yeah, it's kind of like a reverse. Like people don't want to see bulky women, and I think fit model is it's more of an acceptance division for the public. Yeah, I don't know how far it'll go, but that's what it kind of aims. It kind of aims at to me. So,
Yeah, it'll be
because a lot of
interesting to
time,
see how it evolves.
yeah,
The
yeah.
criteria will evolve probably eventually to make it a little bit more competitive.
Like how many fit model competitors like you was competing against on your first
Oh
show
my
when
gosh,
you said?
the first show, there wasn't many of us.
Okay.
I would say maybe like 20, 30 fit models. Now Bikini had like, I think 70. There's a lot. But this last
Yeah.
show I did the Mel Chansey Harbor Classics, and we had more fit models than we had in our division than we had in bikini, which was wild. They had so many that we had to line up on the stage and then also have a row in the front too. And they did, I think, three groups like that. I mean, there was a ton of people competing. And I thought it was like the most successful fit model run that they had in a show right now because there's so many. Now, I don't know what North Americans had. North Americans is a huge show and it's a national qualifier as well, so it attracts a lot more people. So I would have to look to see how many. But I think there right now there is I want to say I read that there is like 43 fit model pros. So it's been interesting to see that grow as well. There's an entire Instagram account that's tracking the division, which I thought was cool. It's called Fitting Fit Model. So
Yeah, I probably need to check it out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
yeah, they have like everyone's story of like how they got involved, and also they track like the different winners of like they'll do like a this last post they did, they zoomed in on each winner's like overall on their shoulder cap so they can see like what they're looking for criteria wise. So I think it's smart to do it that way.
yeah. Is there an athlete that sticks out to you that you admire?
Not in fit model right now, but yeah, I feel like it's all the standard, Ms. Olympias in bikini division. I I watch all of them. I call them my crushes because they're just like these gorgeous women that are just, killing it in the gym. So,
Yeah. Yeah, so I really enjoyed meeting Amy in Tampa and hearing her story. So you guys met in Tampa?
yes, and George was brave enough to interrupt me while I was trying to eat during the day before the show. I was like, "Oh, bold man." I was like,
Yeah.
but I was just eating my chicken and vegetables. So, but yeah, he was sitting right next to me, and we had a good chat. It was fun.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He just tends to over talk at times, but he's not a bad guy. You know, now the new point system is going to change the numbers to the next Olympia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I haven't done a whole lot of digging on the new point system. I have to read more about it, so it'll be interesting to see how that affects the overall winners. It's gonna be
Yeah.
exciting.
Just
It'll be more competitive.
right. So
I
like
mean, it's already
early,
competitive.
yeah. So earlier you was like you used to do the marathons. You didn't really like it. Like what was that? How was that training compared to bodybuilding?
Oh my gosh. Miserable. So I mean, it was so many miles. And for me, when I was in college and I was on the cross country team, we were doing, 90 plus miles a week of running, which is a lot of running. And I ended up doing the Marine Corps Marathon and I trained in 16 weeks, which is not ideal. I would definitely recommend individuals to train a lot longer. But because I had a lot of endurance training already, I was like, oh, I think it'll be fine. Because on my Sunday runs, I was already doing, anywhere from 10 to 12 miles at leisure. So it's like, I'll just, switch this over and do a training program. Um, I did try to qualify for the Boston Marathon using that marathon, and I missed it that year by, I think, like 5 seconds, which was crazy. But I was really happy with my overall time, but it was just so long. I couldn't keep weight on to save my life. I was getting up in the middle of the night eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and like so many carbs and protein just to keep weight on that I just didn't have. It just wasn't a fun process for me. It was pretty miserable. I know
Yeah.
I was in Virginia at the time, and I grew up in upstate New York, and upstate New York doesn't really get our summers until like, late July, August, like it really warms up. And Virginia, it's hot, like right in April. It's so hot. So I trained, I felt like in the hottest part of the summer, and it was all outside because I don't enjoy running on a treadmill. So it was a lot. It was mentally challenging. So I have a lot of respect for people who are, they do marathons constantly. Like that's their thing. They're just avid marathon runners. And then people who want to do ultras, I just I don't know how they do it. I couldn't do it. I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to do it.
There's this park that I go to, and I see they like in the summer they usually have like marathon races like every other week and stuff, and I would see like women competing too, and they look fit, like they almost look like they could compete in bodybuilding. Really, tell you the truth, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, some of those women are like just ripped.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like let me see. Okay, gotta get ready for my line. Okay, George. And yeah. So like so you do forensic?
Yeah, so digital forensics. Yep. Yeah,
Oh,
so I've been
how
doing
did you
that
get in,
for a while.
oh
Say
how
that
did
again.
you get into that? How did you get into it?
Oh, well, I originally was going to go to school for criminology because I wanted to become a police officer. And my advisor, who it was over top of the cybersecurity program at my school, pulled me aside and was like, "Have you ever heard of, cybersecurity, digital forensics?" And I was like, "No, I've never heard of that before." And it was new, right? It was a new buzzword at the time, and I might be aging myself, but that's okay. So we went through this whole like meeting process and stuff like that, and he's like, "Do you really want to be, look at you? You're like maybe 90 pounds. Do you think you can tackle somebody to the ground and like arrest them? Or do you want to be used as like bait on a police department and, to catch predators?" And I was like, "Not really." Like, none of that sounds appealing. And he was like, "Well, this is the life of a police officer," and which is very, very far from the truth. Like he was just trying to like, trying to get people to join the cybersecurity program. Um, so I did. I joined the program and I kind of fell in love with it. I've always been very inquisitive person. Like puzzles, like knowing everything going on. I like to understand the psychology of a person, like how they think, why they think that way, why they make those decisions, their intent, stuff like that. So getting into digital forensics was great because it just kind of fed that natural curiosity that I had, of how things work and how to get into a device and how to understand a person to build like, a holistic view of them through just, you know, their cell phone. That's it, or their hard drive. So no one's going to lie to their phone. They're not going to lie to their hard drive or anything like that on their device. So you learn a lot about a person just by looking at digital artifacts, which I thought was so cool. Um, and so I completed my program, and from there, I went right into contracting work. And so I contracted for so many different opportunities. And I've had a lot of really good experiences along the way. I did anything from policy work that was adjacent to cybersecurity and digital forensics, to traditional incident response, and then traditional digital forensic investigations for DoD. So it was a really, I love my career up to this point, and I'm really happy that his name was Professor Nichols, convinced me to do cybersecurity at that point in time. So I still keep in touch with him a lot. We're connected on LinkedIn, and he's still teaching. He does all these crazy. His career is also really impressive, and he writes all these books and stuff like that. So he's
Yeah, I
crazy
mean,
into it.
yeah. Only thing I know about like with the phones, I know they're like a tracking device. If somebody do something, then they they it's there. You think the technology, I'm sure you think the technology is more better and advanced than how it was before.
Oh
um
yeah. Yeah, there's so much more. And like the apps too, right? Like just for like advertisement IDs, right? Of like how Amazon is tracking your purchases, and let's say you say something out loud and all of a sudden it's like just in your feed now. It depends on what you have turned on setting wise in your phone and all these apps, but the algorithms are so impressive now. Um, and it's not so much like they're tracking you, it's more of like the algorithms have improved so much over the years that they can just like pinpoint directly what they need to market towards. It's really impressive.
Yeah, yeah, I noticed that. Like, especially, I remember somebody was saying that you don't even have to, like, especially like on Instagram, you could be looking at like a video, and you don't even have to like it. You just that you could just watch it, and they'll know like you like that stuff. Well, the algorithm, it'll
Well,
kind of
it,
like,
it depends on how long you pause on it. Yeah.
yeah,
So if you're
yeah,
scrolling
yeah,
and then you're like, it catches your attention for, I think it's like 2.3 seconds or something,
yeah,
then it changes the entire algorithm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So like what else I wanted, like if somebody was to make like a highlight film, like a documentary of you, like what would you want them to cover on your story?
Oh my goodness. That is a hard question. I feel like I needed to be prepared for this one. Um, Geez. At work we were just talking about childhood stories and like how crazy, my siblings and I were growing up. So I grew up in upstate New York on a dairy farm, like in the middle of nowhere. And so I was telling my coworker, it makes me sad because my son will never get that experience. Like these kids will never get this experience, but it's also probably a good thing because they'll be okay. So, I think the documentary probably have to start at the roots, right? Of like my crazy childhood and stupid things that we did. Um, but then also probably show, the evolution of, my sports career. And I've always been, and I give my parents a lot of credit for this. My mom and my stepdad have always been really good about consistency and, teaching self-discipline and stuff like that. And so that's kind of carried over throughout my career, both sports and professional. Like I'm a very self-disciplined person. I'm very consistent. I'm reliable. I show up all the time. I hold myself accountable. Um, and so that would probably have to be the fundamental, I think, theme and storyline throughout that. Uh, Other than that, it's kind of boring, right? You can't make a documentary of just like chicken and rice and potatoes all the time.
Well, tell you the truth, I haven't been using that question in a while. I think like on my first or like second interview, I used that like question just to give like like I don't want to say food for thought, but like just to pick people's brain out, if I could
No,
say,
it's a good
especially
one. It's a good
bodybuilders.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah, you should keep
especially
it.
yeah, especially bodybuilders, because sometimes like regular people like myself, we don't really, you know, I, it, it, it's different. Of course, I've seen it for years and stuff like that, but just entering that world, we, it's you don't know how to connect with. I'm not sure how to connect with somebody that's in that lifestyle. So like
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, because I mean, like the average person, they're not really like paying attention to it like that. It's more of a like a niche. Like somebody either like they have to compete to get into the sport, or they just know somebody that's a bodybuilder and support them and stuff like that. So you know,
Yeah, the same person I was talking about of like these childhood stories that we were sharing. We were also talking about bodybuilding and he wanted to know, how like does it help you? Like how does it help you? And I was like, actually, it's helped me a lot with anxiety. I was a perfectionist for a very long time. And so perfecting my food, like just measuring my food has eliminated that from all other aspects of my life, which is kind of wild. It lets me dial in and fixate on that one thing. And I was also telling him, I was like, I have to mentally tell myself I can get through some really hard things. And whether that be in the gym or like, something mental going on with posing or the outlook of, your body composition. There's a lot of ups and downs throughout bodybuilding that I think a lot of people don't talk about. Um, Everyone talks about stage, right? Being stage lean, how wonderful it is. That's when you get all the pictures. You don't really get a whole lot of pictures of someone in growing season. And people aren't really, I don't think, as honest about how hard growing season is mentally because it's longer than stage prep. And also, you don't look lean. You're not lean. And that's a point, right? Like you need to gain weight so you can, develop. But it is mentally probably the hardest part, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
And like for me, like you're not supposed to fixate on the scale, like how much I actually weigh, right? It's all about body composition. But I will tell you that this bulk season, I was the same weight at the end that I was when I was pregnant with my son. And mentally, I was like, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. Like I have never thought I was going to be this heavy, like without having, a growing human inside me. Like it
yeah,
was a lot.
yeah.
So.
You don't look like you gain weight too much.
Oh my gosh, it took a long time. It took a long time to gain weight. But then once I did start gaining it, it was like my body finally like caught on, was like, "Oh, this is what you want us to do." And I was like, "Yes. I need you to hold on to the food." So, I mean, towards the end of my bulk, I think the most I was eating was 3,200 calories, which is a lot. So, but my metabolism is fast and yeah,
And you're
it's a blessing and a curse.
and you're a vegan,
Oh, not a vegan. Nope. I love
a
my
vegetarian.
chicken, love my
Oh,
bacon. Yeah,
did you say
I
you
can't.
did
Yeah,
you
I
say you
eat
was like
vegan
a?
protein. Yeah,
Oh, okay,
just because
okay.
like the whey protein I can't have. So it's really
Oh,
hard. Or I do
okay.
that or just like egg whites. Yeah. No,
Oh,
full-fledged meat
I got
eater. Sorry.
I got you. I got you. What kind of meat you like? Like chicken or steak?
Uh, a steak is probably high up on the list. We have steak for dinner tonight. I've been planning all day for it. And then chicken, but we do mostly chicken thighs because there's fat in there and it's easier to, consume the fat that way. Plus it doesn't get dry and it's a little bit more flavor to it. Um, but yeah, right now I've been craving steak mostly and like burgers.
Mm. That the holidays is coming up soon. Like what's your plan? Like how do you deal with that?
Oh my gosh. So hopefully, I compete sooner rather than later so that I can just be done. Um, the plan is the same, really.
Yeah,
It makes family engagements a little awkward, especially if you don't have like the full support of your family behind you because you're weighing everything. But I literally will just weigh exactly what it is, and if I have to bring extra food. I've done that to family engagements where I just bring my own food and I watch
right.
them eat all the delicious stuff while I sit there and eat my, chicken and rice or whatever it is. So it is
Yeah,
hard. It is really hard.
yeah, I hear stories like that too often. Yeah, yeah. Like what?
Yeah.
How do they look at you? Like do they get it or they just kind of
Some
still
people get
figuring it
it, some people don't. Yeah. Um, Actually, we did a family vacation with my husband's family and they're Peruvian, so there's a lot of rice, there's a lot of like pork and potatoes and stuff like that in every meal. And so explaining that was actually fun for me. Like I can't eat these things because this is the amount of food that I can eat, right? And now I find a lot of passion behind explaining the why, like, oh, well, this is a carb, that's a carb, this is fat, this is protein. And they get it. And they have been engaged through my entire like prep and, watching me go through it. But I told him, I was like, once this prep's over, I'll eat all your food. Like
Yeah. So
that's the
you
goal.
basically
I'm gonna
so,
make a list of things that I want everyone to cook in the family.
so you basically educating them at the same time. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
it helps if you tell like individuals that don't understand. it helps if you tell them like the end goal, right? This is what my goal is. This is what the timeline looks like for that. I think that helps a lot because then they can connect better.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good because I think people have like this perception of bodybuilding, of steroids and other things like that. You know, there was this movie I was watching. It's called Magazine Dreams with Jonathan Majors, and he was competing and stuff, and he was going through these lot of hardships competing, and yeah, it was like to a point he met his idol of bodybuilding. The person in the movie was actually a bodybuilder too, but he was pedalizing him to a point where they kind of engaged in sexual activities and stuff like that. And so
Oh,
he felt bad. I don't want to blow up the whole movie, but I
I'll
don't
have
want
to
to.
watch it. Was it
Yeah,
good? You liked it?
yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good. It was good. I think it wasn't so much of bodybuilding really. Like it was him just trying to connect with people. He had a hard time connecting with people. It was like one scene where he was on a date and he was just like so focused on bodybuilding to a point where the person the girl that he was dating, she just had to like make an excuse and just walk out and stuff. So
Oh
and
no.
for him,
Yeah.
yeah, for him to just like talk to the girl, it was like it felt like a task. And then when she finally accepted him, it was like, yeah, I got to get away from him. It was other things he was talking about. I don't want to bring it up too much because you
Yeah.
ain't see the movie. I don't want to ruin it
I'm
for
gonna
you.
add it to the
But
list.
yeah, but check it out because not too many bodybuilders see it because I've asked and it's like, no, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, it's definitely easier to date somebody who's in the lifestyle with you and to be with somebody that's in the lifestyle because they just get it.
yeah,
Um, yeah, it's just like I don't have to explain my weird eating habits or anything or like
yeah,
my weird combination meals to my husband because he's also eating some weird stuff just to meet the macros for, the evening or the day. So,
yeah. Yeah,
what's
that's
been really hard is that we're now going into football season. And
mm,
so that's been hard because bulk last year was a whole new game. Like I could eat pizza on football Sunday and like chicken wings. And this year I did have the Kinder buffalo sauce, which was pretty good. I highly recommend that for anyone who is craving chicken wings. And I just put that on like chicken thighs. It was pretty good, but it wasn't the same, you know?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's good that your husband, supporting you, you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes a little bit too supportive. Like if I want to like cheat a little bit and like, oh well, the kids are, having these pastries, like I can have this too if I just like calculate it out right. And he's like, you're not supposed to eat that, you're in prep. So, but yeah,
I
it's good.
guess
He
he
holds me
trying to look
accountable.
out for you. Yeah,
He
I
is.
guess he trying to look out for you.
Yeah, he
But
knows. I've been working hard. So
yeah, yeah. Well, I wish you the best. Hopefully, I hope you get your pro card.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's we'll see. 5, maybe 8 weeks,
All right.
whatever show comes first. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Do you have a show planned, or you just still?
So yeah, we're just trying to figure out like body response right now. So we have two in mind. I keep looking at the calendar here to figure out, how much time I have, but it really depends on the entire V taper, like if we can get that going where it needs to go. I don't think we're going to make a huge difference impact wise in like the short period of time, but we will make some changes. So we're going to see what that looks like. And we're really pushing it. Like I said, I'm hired somebody to help me those last couple weeks just to kind of get through it. And I thought she was going to kill me today at the gym. I'm still here. I'm still present, I think. Um, but I can tell you that I will probably continue training with her during my off season too, because she really pushed me. Um, she's been bodybuilding for a lot longer than I have. I think she said today it was like 15, 16 years she's been doing it. And I I feel like it's my first time I ever worked out. Like my glutes have never felt like that during a workout. And I was like, is this normal? Like it's uncomfortable to sit and it's uncomfortable to stand. So like I don't know what to do right now.
Yeah.
But
It's a
that's how you know it's
discipline.
a good workout.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I wish you the best, you know.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
Thank
I'm
you. I
gonna let you
appreciate it.
go. Yeah, I'm gonna let you go. And yeah, in the future, I wish we could talk again. Hopefully.
Absolutely. I'll keep you posted on how things go.
All
I'll let you know
right.
what show we actually go compete in. So
All right. No problem. Yeah, and I'm gonna stay tuned to watch that OCB shows or maybe the NPC shows and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm trying to be a
absolutely.
spectator. Yeah, I'm being more of a spectator. I can't be a bodybuilder, but I'm gonna do the spectating thing. Yeah,
We need all the support we can get.
yeah.
So I'll take it.
All right, I appreciate that. All right,
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
you too. You too.